crisscrossing the country and connecting the cargo that keeps the economy rumbling on. Can this railroad stock weather the trade war and power your portfolio like a locomotive?
If you want to take the pulse of the economy, watch the transports, especially the railroads. They have a better read on commerce than any other industry. So when Jim Foote, CEO of CSX, a major railroad, came on CNBC in July and said that this economy was one of the most puzzling that he's ever experienced, that was taken as a pretty bad sign. The consumer might be strong, but the business side of things is in much worse shape than many people realize, though maybe not as bad as we feared. See, last week, CSX reported a surprisingly okay quarter, even though their sales were down 4.8% year over year, driven by severe weakness in a host of cargoes. CSX still delivered a 2.9% earnings growth, which translated into a hefty beat. So despite a not-so-hot environment, the company's more exacting railroad initiatives allowed them to turn a fantastic profit, simply because they're better, more efficient operators. Could the stock have more upside? Let's take a closer look with Jim Foote. He's the president and CEO of CSX. To learn more about the quarter and where his company's headed, Mr. Foote, welcome to Mad Money. Good to see you, sir.
Great, and this is really good to be here.
Thank you. Now, we've always liked the railroads on the show. We always felt that they're green, they use less oil. We know that they have very little competition among the other railroads, so they have competition among trucks. What we never expected was that they were not cyclical, that there's just an upward trend. That's what I feel you've made with CSX. How'd you do it?
Well, you know, Jim, we've been transforming CSX now for the last 2 years, 2.5 years, using a different model. It's focused on really running the railroad as efficiently as we possibly can, using as few assets as we possibly can. And the end result of that is that we provide a much, much more reliable product. But we're also able to pivot much better, too, when because the railroad business is the railroad business, changes all the time, factors here, factors there. So we're able to move in any direction we need to at any given time, much better.
Okay, so what's different? Are you more on time? Are you not losing cars all over the place? Or are you telling customers that you can do X and then you do even better than X?
Absolute horror stories of the way the railroad industry has run for years and years and years, not providing a very good product whatsoever for our customers. By focusing on, again, efficiency, what we're really meaning is in the supply chain, in our logistics chain, there are so many unnecessary things that were done. Switching boxcars here where they didn't need to be, stopping and holding cars in a yard where they didn't need to be, all kinds of work along the way that wasn't necessarily to be done in order to move your customer's product from their mill to their customer as efficiently and as reliably as you possibly can. Well, we're just taking all that unnecessary work and noise and activity out of the network.
But I'm sure viewers at home are saying, well, wait a second. You mean they weren't running in a commonsensical fashion? Why not?
Historically speaking, that's just the way the railroad industry evolved. More focused on running trains versus moving the customers' cars through the pipeline to their customers as efficiently as you possibly can do it.
And that has made it so that CSX is no longer the boom and bust operation that I had come to know it as?
Absolutely. As you said, what our quarter was last year, revenue's down 5%, but expenses down 8%.
Yeah, that's incredible. Now, you do have certain cargoes that I've always felt you were so linked to. I always felt if coal went down, CSX would be crushed. Coal's down big. It doesn't seem to matter as much anymore.
Well, coal certainly has its challenges associated with the price of natural gas, with half of our coal business being tied to the electric utility industry. But what we've really focused on now is the core franchise of CSX, the merchandise business, the chemicals, the plastics, the metals, the lumber, the paper. Big portion of our business, the boxcar business as it's sometimes referred to as. And that's where there is billions of dollars of opportunity for us to capture if we can do one thing and one thing only: improve the reliability of the product, our service that we give to our customers.
All right, sir, if there is a continued trade war, I would have to believe that there's no way CSX can have great numbers if we're going to be putting tariffs everywhere. But again, listening to you, I think that from efficiencies, you can even triumph over that.
Oh, we have a fantastic franchise, Jim. We blanket the eastern half of the United States, where 2/3 of the U.S. population lives. As I said, with billions of opportunity, the railroad industry only has 8% of a $980 billion transportation market. Railroads used to have almost all of that. They lost it. Why did they lose it? Poor service. By running the railroad the way we run the railroad today, not only do we create great efficiency, but we create a much more reliable product that the customers want to use. They're using a truck today, but they're paying 10 to 15% more to do it. They pay the premium to buy the reliability.
Now, you used to be in Canada. I mean, you cut your teeth there, I guess, in retrospect, but you've come down. And look, I like CSX, but the CSX you're talking about is like Martians come down and changed it. I mean, that's how different it is.
Well, you know, this model, this different way of thinking about the way to do the railroad business, was really pioneered on a big scale at the Canadian National. And yes, I worked at the Canadian National for 15 years. And we took that company, as you know, what was owned by the Canadian government, and therefore not necessarily the best run railroad in North America, to clearly the best run. A model that has proven that it works. So when the opportunity came to try and do things in that manner at CSX and transform CSX in a similar manner, I don't know how to run a railroad any differently.
Well, let me give you an example of what I focused on. E-commerce is maybe the greatest new next wave of transport. I had felt that the railroads have been left behind because customers like Amazon, they want that precision. Are you in shape to be able to get some of that e-commerce business?
Absolutely. And we work with many of the parcel shippers today. You know, we work with the UPS today, which is, you know, handling packages and expects, trust me, those guys are tough and they want precision delivery. We're doing that, and we don't manage to train from terminal to terminal. We worry about, are we going to miss a sort? That's how precise we need to be. And we're doing that today, and we're doing that very well.
Now, the old days, I always worried the railroads, an activist was going to come knocking. It's happened to a bunch of them. I think if you run it well, they go elsewhere.
Well, recent history would show that, yeah, the activists will come knocking, which they did at CSX. Again, building off the knowledge that had been learned by the way the Canadians had operated that, and transformed CSX through that process into what we are today. Number one, the safest railroad in North America, the most efficient railroad in North America. And by most recent standards, if you listen to what the customers are saying, we run the best railroad in terms of service. And then factor in the sustainability of how much more fuel efficient we are than a truck, and therefore 75% more fuel efficient, and therefore 75% more environmental friendly. How can I not be excited about what our opportunities are?
Sometimes because we all know how bad the roads are in this country, we think, geez, I'd rather be on rail than I would be on a road.
I think so, yes.
Well, look, it's been a great run since you've come in. I don't want to denigrate the guys in the old days, but this is a different, better railroad. And congratulations to you for everything you've done.
Thank you so much. It was great to be here.
Excellent. Okay, that's Jim Foote. He's president and CEO of CSX Corporation. Maybe now you understand when you see a revenue number that may not be so great, look at the earnings number. It can be terrific because they're so much more efficient. Mad Money's back into the break.
Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @Jim Cramer on Twitter. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadTweets. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.